One of our country's greatest traditions is lacing up and gliding onto a skating rink. And this year, building your very own in your backyard is more popular than ever. If you're thinking about giving it a try, our next guest is an expert, having built hundreds of backyard skating rinks. Noah Roelofsen, CEO of Rinkbuild in Toronto, is joining us now. Hey, good morning to you.
Hi, good morning, Lindsay. How are you?
I'm good. Happy winter. This is probably your favorite season, obviously. Take us back a little bit. When did you start building backyard rinks?
So we started building backyard rinks when I was about 12 years old. My dad built me one for my birthday. And then just ever since then, we've just been building rinks all over the GTA.
You're clearly in somebody's backyard right now, so we're going to walk through some tips in just a moment. But I do want to ask you about, the pandemic. How has that affected your businesses at all? Are you doing better? Is it about the same? What would you say?
Oh, yes. This year we are absolutely booming. We've had tons and tons of calls coming in, quotes, especially because we're on Instagram and most of the major platforms this year. So we've really been having people reaching out from essentially all walks of life and all different platforms, which has been absolutely amazing.
Okay, Noah, now it's tip time. Tell us how you build one.
Yeah, so what we're doing right now, as you can see in the back, we're just lining up all the wood in different areas. This one in particular is on a sport court. So we're going to have to use one of our special triple bracing techniques in order to make sure that we can give 100% certainty of structural integrity. The best tip that I can give, I have a top 3 tips that I like to tell people. Number 1 is to always laser level to make sure that you have enough wood in the yard. Second is to triple reinforce, or at least double reinforce. So that means putting the boards together, having some kind of bracing system, and then additionally staking into the ground if you can. And then last is to make sure you have fun. If you're pulling your hair out at the end of the rink, it's just not what it's all about.
And we're looking at some examples. Is this expensive for people to do?
Yeah, so the way that we have our system is that it's meant for year after year use. We offer the takedown and we offer the rebuild the following year. Prices range in around $1,800 to $2,400 depending on the slope and the size, but we can essentially accommodate just about any yard.
And in terms of people's size of backyard, we have a smaller backyard. My husband at our old house had done this for us as well. And I have to say there seemed to be, at least for him, a lot of maintenance throughout the night with the snow shoveling and all of that stuff. What would you recommend for people who, for the maintenance portion of this?
Yeah, for the maintenance portion, making sure to shovel off any of the packing snow. The powder that kind of just sits on the top, that's all right. But just making sure to get off, when you have a sizable amount of snow on the ice and it starts to melt a little bit, that can stick to the ice and it makes it nice and bumpy. Well, not nice at all. And you can also take some warm water and put that over top after you do your shoveling. And what that'll do is it'll melt just a little bit of the top layer, that bumpiness, and it'll make it nice and flat using some kind of squeegee or makeshift Zamboni system. Maybe have the kids pull a rug or some kind of t-shirt behind them,
nice.
just to mimic the Zamboni essentially.
Oh, I love that so much. Well, it looks like a lot of fun, and it's amazing that you get to do this for a living as well. Lastly, I want you to leave us with, if you could, a memory of your time growing up or your favorite rink you've ever built.
I'd have to say my favorite rink I ever built was with my father way back when I was about 12 years old. My sister, my dad, and myself did it all ourselves, and my mom made the hot chocolate, of course. And I think that's just such a great memory. It's one of the first times I used power tools. I always like to tell our clients to take them down themselves, just to have that extra family time, especially in the pandemic. That bonding experience of learning how to use power tools. It's a pretty simple thing to do, so you won't be pulling your hair out. And I think that's just super important, keeping within the family.
What a lovely memory. And just in terms of timeline, do you have to do it before the snow really comes? Is now the window of opportunity to do this?
Yeah, it's definitely easiest when the snow hasn't fallen because it's a little easier, or else you just have to do some shoveling, but we'll be building essentially throughout the entire winter. If you want a rink way late, no problem.
All right, Noah. Well, congrats on a booming business, especially this year. It's a great idea, especially if you've got the space in your backyard to get out and play, because there's not much else to do out there, and this is certainly a fun activity. Noah, thanks. Nice to see you.
No, my pleasure.
Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.